There we go. There it is. I gotta adjust this. Hold on, guys. All right, that's better. I was like leaned. It was like leaned in. All right. Good evening. Ay, ay, ay. Crazy. So, we're going to be talking about famine tonight. Can it happen here? We're going to talk about what's going on in different places around the world as well. And so, we're going to get into that shortly. One of the things I want to just remind everybody, if we have any interruptions with the stream tonight, that I will get right back on as soon as I possibly can. It has been happening, every stream lately. I think like the last 5 or 6 streams in a row. So just remember that you may not get a second notification, but if we get interrupted, I will get right back on as soon as I can. And so you just have to look for me. Again, like I said, you probably won't get notification because that's one of the games that YouTube likes to play. All right. Secondly, I just want to remind everybody again that this is a very, very family-friendly oriented channel. So I'm asking you all to please be decent in the chat. No racism, no nastiness, because it's not going to be tolerated here. I'm not going to put up with it. My awesome moderators that you see lit up in blue, if you decide to be stupid in here, they will boot you out of here. So we're just not going to have it. So just letting everybody know, okay? All right. So I got to tell you, so what I did after I made the video, uploaded, and got the stream set up, I went out and I did the apple trees, the rest of the apple trees out front. And it ended up being a lot bigger job because that one tree was pretty huge and I had to cut everything up. And then we moved a lot of it and put it in the pile. So that's what we worked on tonight. Mom was helping a little bit with that. But the apple trees are now all trimmed in the front. So that's a good thing. And I did leave some because some of the branches actually were coming down. So I think we should probably get some decent apples off of those this year. Now, everything else, like that one tree, I butchered down that one tree. That one tree was huge, and I took it almost completely out. So that one, we're definitely going to get nothing out of this year. But that's okay. Literally, my neighbor who has lived up here for 30 years, he said that in all the time that he has been here, nobody's ever touched those trees. They've done no pruning, no cutting back, nothing. So we cut them back, and he told me when they first came up here, they used to get really nice big apples off those trees. He said now, like the last couple of years, like when I've been here, it's just been little bitty crabby apple type of things, and it's basically because of that. Does Mom bake apple pies? JJ, Mom don't bake at all. Mom is not a cook, in any sense of the word. My mother could burn boiling water. And I'm saying that facetiously, but my mom is a horrible cook, and she will be the first to tell you that she is a horrible cook. We had to learn on our own when we were young. My sister Becky is a fantastic cook. So that's we leave the cooking to Becky, and that works out really, really well. But so anyway, yeah, that's. I wanted to let you guys know. I'm going to be having a visitor here at the Homestead in May. His name is Joe from St. Bernard Acres. Some of you may know who I'm talking about. He has a channel over there. He's going to be buying my old batteries. So we've talked on the phone. We came to a deal. I've been talking with Joe. Him and I pretty much started our channels right around the same time. So, that's what we're gonna, so we'll do a video together and stuff like that. I told him, well, we'll do some videos together, and he was telling me what's been going on with his channel with YouTube. And so, guys, Jamie Lee's asking, hey Ed, did you hear from Bizarrizza? I have to apologize. I have not called. Get down. No, you were just out. Stop. Down. Good girl. Children. So anyway, I have not talked to him. My bad on that one. I've been really, really busy. So actually, I'll tell you what we'll do, guys. We will do this right now. We will do this. While you guys are on here, we will give him a call. So let's see. I even put it on speaker. Hold on 1 second. Let's see what's going on with him. Will you plant catnip in the garden for the kitties? No, I don't want them in the garden.
Please leave your message for
Brian. Just straight to his voicemail, guys. Yep. Brian, everybody's here. I'm on live streaming, asking where you are, how are you, and all that good stuff. Give me a call. Let me know that you're okay. All right. Obviously, it's Prepper Nurse 1. All right. Bye. Yeah, so I had no idea. Sorry, guys. But that went right to his voicemail. I had my neighbor. There was a message on there from her. Her dogs were headed down Spring Road south, or no, east. So, yeah, I was like, okay, well, I figure I'd give her a message and let her know because I saw them out there. What else? But anyway, yeah. So I will try to follow up again with Brian. I apologize for not getting on him sooner, but it's just there's been a lot of stuff going on. I had to go see my tax lady and getting stuff together for her, and yeah, it's just And then today I was like, okay, I got to get this done. I want to get this squared away because the forecast here. Actually, I'll tell you what we're looking at here moving forward. So the weather is just not working properly to get things done. So today was fairly decent. Tomorrow we are looking at pretty much rain all day. It's what they're calling for, rain all day tomorrow. And then we're looking at rain all day on Friday. And our high temperatures, tomorrow is going to be 48. Friday, the high is going to be 47. We got a low of 35, a low of 37. Then Saturday looks decent. Then we got more rain coming in on Sunday. And again, our highs are high 40s, low 50s, and then in the 30s at night. So we're going to have some pretty cold nights coming up. So I'm definitely going to hold off on planting the plants. But like even next week, we got more rain coming in. So we're going to try to, continue to get things done as we can. If we get a decent day, I want to go get Quikrete and put that into the beds and then have the neighbor come down. Hey, Tim. Ed, stop calling me your tax lady, LOL. Yeah, right. Okay. That's funny. But yeah, I have a female tax accountant and she's awesome. So, but that's a very funny joke. And thank you very much for the donation. But all right, so we got to get into topic here because I know we're like already 8 minutes in. Well, let's do this real quick. We're at 8 minutes in. We're at 644 in the chat. We're at 194 thumbs up. If you haven't shot a thumbs up yet, please do so to show support for the channel. And thank you ahead of time for doing that. Also, it really does. Get down. Enough. Hey, good girl. It really does help with the algorithms as well. So thank you for that as well. Also, last thing, I'd like to see a lot of thumbs up. So thank you for that. And again, if you're not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Hit the bell icon to get all notifications as well. This is what I deal with. What? You just were outside. And there's Miss Hella behind her. Yep, there she goes. Oh, show you Max. And then Lucy. Okay, hey, stop it. We're not doing this tonight. And then Caesar's right here. So they're right up my butt, which is what they do. But you gotta understand, I took this dog out. I got to let you know. I took her out a half an hour ago. And then literally 2 minutes before the stream started, she started whining to go out. I took her out. She peed right away. And then I'm like, okay, come on, get in. So it's like I'm trying to make sure this dog goes to the toilet before we do these streams. But all right, I know I'm like way off. We're not even talking about topic yet. We're going to get into topic right now. Famine around the world. I'm going to talk about a couple different places right now. Okay. Yemen has been at war for the last 6 years. A lot of infighting in the country. Yemen imports 90 to 95% of their food. Number one. Okay. They have a country of 30 million people, and of 30 million people, 16 million of them are starving. Hella, knock it off. Oh, now she's mad because the other dog's here. So you got 16 million of them are starving. And again, now they've been at war for 6 straight years on top of it. Then we have Syria, and we all know that's been going on for quite the long time as well. A lot of starvation going on there, but actually Yemen is worse than Syria. When you have those type of situations, when you have the infighting and the wars going on, it makes it really tough to grow crops. And, you could be overrun. There's all kinds of issues with that. Look at the United States, okay? Could it happen here? Food prices have already gone up unbelievably high. We all know that. We've been paying attention. If anybody's been paying attention, you can see that the food prices have gone through the roof. The portion sizes have gotten smaller and the prices have gotten higher. Hella, stop. You are fine. You are fine. She's such a baby. She's so huge too, which is even funnier, which makes it so much funnier because she's only 6 months. So she just turned 6 months on the 6th. So but she's like an enormously big dog. So anyway, you look at our system here in America. All right. I want you guys to think about this. When I was a kid, I actually worked at Hella. Stop it. Down. No. What are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you being naughty? Why are you being naughty? I know it. I know, but it's all right. You're okay. So, when I was a kid, I worked at a Bell's store. I don't know if you guys, some of you are going to remember what Bell's, some of you don't. They're not even in existence anymore. But I worked at the store in a town called Caledonia. I worked at Bell's. I worked in shipping and receiving. And we had a storeroom in the back, behind everything where they had all kinds of supplies. And they always had them there. Now, I worked in the produce department, so we would get shipments in every single day for fresh produce and all that type of stuff. So it was pretty much a, really, all of you? They're just watching them, they're amusing. So the produce would come in every day. So I would go in and I would unload the trucks. I'd have to be there at 5 a.m, and the trucks would be there. We'd unload. My boss never even came into 7. And then, we would get everything ready for the day. So it was like that on demand, right? Well, now everything is, or on time. Everything is now on time. There is no stuff in the back that they're saving for later or anything like that. It's all being shipped in and it goes out on the floor immediately, okay? If there is a disruption in that food chain, or if there is, the trucks weren't able to run and those type of stuff, we would be in big trouble very, very quickly. You are looking at, in any grocery store, you're looking at a 3-day supply of food for the populace in that area. 3-day supply of food. Now, I know a tremendous amount of people that literally shop day by day. They decide, well, what are we going to have for dinner tonight? And then they go to the store, they get what they want for shopping that day, and they don't really have any kind of supplies on hand, okay? They have nothing. They're not prepared for anything whatsoever. That is very, very frightening to me. Johnson & Johnson gets banned in the U.S., told everyone they were poison, nobody listens, and the elites win. Lots of sheep. Well, yeah, there's, I saw that there was issues with clotting with Johnson & Johnson. So, but, and they were just, I want you guys to realize this too, okay? The SUNY colleges, this is in New York, all right? Because I just read the article today. They're having to revamp their game plan because they were going to be getting their, from Johnson & Johnson, giving it to all the college students that wanted it. And anybody that wanted it, they could have gone and got it, and they were going to use them, all right? Because the issues with clotting, they, yeah, just in time. That's what I said, Kat. So, so they had the issue. So now they're revamping of where they're going to get it from, because obviously they're not going to get it from J&J. So, yeah, interesting stuff, huh? I will say one thing, and I will say just this one thing, okay? If you have gotten it, You are the experiment. That's it. That's all I'm going to say. You know, I'm not telling you what to do, what not to do. Pfizer vac banned in a lot of European countries due to clotting issues. East Tennessee Preparedness just said that. Yeah, there's been a lot of issues. A lot of issues. You know, you're talking about something that is an emergency release. And like I said, I'm not going to get into that. I don't want to cause problems with that aspect. But yeah, there's been a tremendous amount of issues, and they try to sweep things under the rug, and that's what they do. But that is the media. Okay, so I got to mention this really quickly, and then I do want to get back to talking about food shortages and the possibility of famine and stuff happening here in the United States. So the lawyer that is representing the family of this kid that was killed up in Minnesota, he was saying that this is not about expired tags, it's about driving while black. So basically, and this is a huge issue that I have, because they are trying to make it about a race thing. This is not about a race thing. This is not about a race thing at all. If you really want to look at the situation, you have a young man who had a warrant out for his arrest that did not want to go to jail. So he resisted arrest, tried to flee. The cop made a mistake, a 26-year veteran, and people say, oh, she's a 26-year veteran, she should know better, blah, blah, blah. You literally have half a second, maybe 2 seconds at the most, to make that call like that when you are in that type of a situation. Most of you have never been in that stressful type of situation that is life or death, and a decision has to be made instantaneously. Most of you haven't, okay? Those are things that happen, and you better know what you're doing and how to react. Unfortunately, she made a mistake. It cost him his life, but it was his actions that cost him his life. That's what cost him his life, okay? Had nothing to do with the fact that he was black. They saw that it's expired tags. So basically what this lawyer is saying, and this is me paraphrasing, okay? Basically what this lawyer is saying is, if you're black, you should automatically get a pass, and you know, it's okay for you to break the law. And if you get pulled over by the police, it's okay to act like a complete moron and a jerk. That's fine, because then you can sue them. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. This is not a black and white issue. I get so sick and tired of the media and everybody fanning the flames of hatred, and oh my God, all these cops are so bad. I wonder, this woman was a cop for 26 years. I want you to think about that. Now, I don't know what her record is. I don't know what her history was, okay? I know she was a training officer, okay? Being a training officer, you got to know what you're doing. You got to be pretty squared away, and you got to go by the book. So I'm pretty sure she probably went by the book. But again, how many incidents had she been in with these type of situations? Unfortunately, like I said again, she made a mistake. And unfortunately, it cost this young man his life. But it was his fault that it went the way it went. If he had said, okay, you got me, I got a warrant, that's fine. I'm going to tell you what, and this is what really pisses me off. If this situation had been reversed, if this had been a reverse situation, and it had been a black female officer killing some white kid, never would have been in the national news. Never would have been in the national news. But because it fit the criteria to continue to fan the flames of hatred, that's what happens. And I find that disgusting. And I find it disgusting that these vultures, like lawyers and stuff like that, would all automatically just continue to push that to get whatever their agenda is. Very, very sad situation. But again, all of the blame goes on that kid. Because if he'd have just said, okay, you got me, he'd be sitting in jail right now. But guess what? He'd be alive. So that's on him. That's on him. And I know that she was charged with second degree murder or manslaughter. Second degree manslaughter, I think, is what they said. I don't think she'll ever be convicted of that. I'm going to tell you right now. It was a mistake. They can basically, she was saying taser, 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 right? It's all on video, guys. You're going to get tased. You're going to get tased. And then she thinks she's pulling out her taser. So again, it happens. Second degree manslaughter, yeah, okay, yeah. But again, she's never going to get convicted of that. I'll tell you that right now. There's no way. There's no way. Um, Reasonable doubt. It was not any kind of intent in any way, shape, or form. I don't believe. So don't worry. His family will sue for millions and they will win. Of course they will, because you got to continue to pacify. That's what they do. It's ridiculous, and it's just again, you have that double standard that if it fits a narrative, everybody goes crazy. But if it's somebody else, if it was an Asian or a white person or even a Hispanic person, you wouldn't see this as much. You wouldn't. So, Ed, have you heard from Prepper Chris One? No, East Tennessee Preparedness. I have not heard from him either. I know he's working a ton at the jail, so I know that he has strange hours that he has to do. So that could probably be why. Yeah, right. The DOJ is not filing any charges on the woman killed in the Capitol. Yeah, she was killed. You know. Hey, Pamela Sherry. She should never be charged with anything. He was resisting. End of story. Well, you're right. He was. And again, it's an unfortunate situation. But I hate to let me break this to you guys to give you some breaking information. All right. Police officers are human beings too, and they make mistakes. I'm sorry that they're not perfect all the time, but again, if you are breaking the law, simple as that. If you're breaking the law, and I love when people come back and say, well, what about when they come and try to take your guns? Or what if they come and try to take your preps? We're not talking about that. That's a whole different situation. We're talking about he had a warrant for his arrest for other charges. He's driving with suspended tags. They didn't just pull him over. Oh, you know what? Let's just randomly pull this person over because he's black. That's BS. I'm sorry. Now, are they always looking for a reason to pull anybody over? I'm going to tell you what, I have been pulled over when I was behind a cop. I've told you guys that story. All right. And I was behind him for probably 5-6 miles. He pulls over. I go by. He pulls off behind me and he lights me up. And I'm like, why is this cop pulling me over? He tried to tell me that I had my high beams on, and I absolutely did not have my high beams on. And why would I be a jerk like that? And so, but he was looking for an excuse to pull me over. That's exactly what it was, because he didn't like that I was, according to him, I was driving. First, he said, you're driving too close. And I said, no, sir. I said, I was 2 car lengths behind you, because that's the law, 2 car lengths, right? So he didn't like it that I wasn't scared to death because he was a cop. Well, and I didn't get a ticket. I did not get a ticket because he didn't have anything. He was full of crap. Okay. But it's like those things happen. They're looking for an excuse, any excuse. So if you give them an excuse, like having expired tags or, whatever other stuff that they say for pulling you over. I mean, if I got a headlight out and I know I got a headlight out, I'm getting that taken care of right away because I don't want them to pull me over. I don't want to have to deal with it. It's just, but again, there's you're always going to have people that are always, always, always going to have that victim mentality. They're always the victim. It's always somebody else's fault. No personal responsibility for your own actions. And it just blows me away. And it happens constantly, especially in this day and age. Unbelievable. So, yeah, and nobody's talking about Cuomo anymore. Yep, and that's another thing. They're doing the investigation, and they're going to be investigating him. They were interviewing the witnesses for the allegations of the sexual harassment, and he's just right back to he dodged the bullet, laid low. Nope, I'm not quitting, and now he's right back to doing what he always does. It's amazing, Nina, no, Heather wouldn't act like a thug and resist. Yeah, no, and I love that when people say that too. Well, what if it was your daughter? Well, here's the thing. My daughter knows how to act. She's been taught properly how to interact with the police. You don't give them a reason. And if you get it, here's the thing is if you get a ticket and it's a BS ticket, then we deal with it in court. That's how that would go. Okay. My daughter's not out there doing stupid stuff. She's not. So she's not breaking the law. She's, actually, my daughter don't even drive, so it'd be real hard. It'd be real hard for her to get pulled over. Yeah, she still don't have her license. She's still on her permit. She just doesn't care, But again, how you interact. Let me just say this. So some of you are just so locked into for the hatred of the police. It is just, you can't think beyond that. Okay. How you interact with the police goes a long way to how that interaction is going to go. You know what? I don't like being pulled over by the police any more than anybody else does. It's a pain in the butt. It's not fun, especially if they give you a ticket. It just sucks. Okay. But if you are respectful, and it goes a long way. It goes a long way. It really does. And especially in this climate today, And, that's all I'm going to say about that. But, you get respect by giving respect. And if you are respectful and you're, being a decent person, 9 times out of 10, they're going to treat you the same way. It's amazing how that works. She walks alone. Ed, did you get your package at the post office today? She walks alone. So, I got to show you guys. Hold on a second. Now, of course, now the dogs are calmed down. I'm going to have to go. I'll be right back. Hold on. I want to show you what I did get today. And she walks alone. I think your package you said was coming on Thursday. I think you said that was coming on Thursday. So, but I wanted to show you what came today. And so, from Ken and Karen, we've been watching your channel for over 2 years and met you at the Prepper Picnic. We are currently living in Western New York. Here's a picture of the homestead we started, and I'm not going to say the name. This shirt is from Larry's Sports Center in the town. We pass it on the way to our property. So I want to show you guys this really nice picture of their homestead. I think that's beautiful, a 2-story thing. I think that's really, really neat. So Ken and Karen, thank you very much. And I want to show you what they got me. I won't show you the back because on the back it says the town. So, nice Harley shirt. Very, very cool. All right. So, thank you so much for that. I do appreciate that. And I definitely will wear that because, I like my Harley stuff. So, that is very, very cool. And thank you very much for doing that. Then the second thing I got today, and I want to show you guys this. And this came from, there was no note inside. This is from Maria. And she's in Texas. Oh, wait a minute. There's something in here. Is there something in here? Oh, yeah, there's a note. I'm sorry. Hope you find this book suitable to add to your library. Want to mention, in case you did not know it, that you alter people's lives for the better. Please do not ever quit what you do. Happy trails. And this is Maria. Thank you very much, Maria. And I wanted to show you guys this. Mini farming. All right. Very, very cool. It says farm on a 1/4 acre or less. So for the people that are limited in space, it just gives you an idea of what you can do. And I think that that's very, very cool. And that's awesome. So thank you very much. So thank both of you for those gifts. Very, very cool. I do appreciate it. So that's awesome. And I think the other one will be coming tomorrow. I think that's what originally she said, that the package would be here tomorrow. So I will go down tomorrow and I'll look and see if anything else came then. So thank you very much. You guys are awesome. I love it. I do. It's very, very thoughtful of you, and always will take more books for my library of books. Never have enough. Portland, over 100 police have quit in a year. That should tell you something. Randy Romine said, you know what? There's a lot of police officers all around the country taking early retirement, getting out because they've just had enough. They've just had enough. And, yes, Ed, you've helped alter my prepping ways. That's Ruth Phillips says. And she said, thank you. Thank you, Ruth. I appreciate that. You know what? I want to help. That's the biggest thing. I've said this so many times, and it's yeah, you can't blame them. No, no, you can't blame them, Teresa, not at all. If I can help you to help yourself, then I've done my job. And that's the most important thing to me. I want less victims out there. I don't want you guys to be in a situation where you go, oh my God, how did this happen? How did we get here? And how come I didn't do anything about it? If you work at it and do things methodically, like I talk about constantly, it's amazing how much things get done. So anyway, real quick again, we're at 1,027 in the chat. We're at 380 on the thumbs up. I would, if you would shoot a thumbs up, I would appreciate that, and thank you very much for doing that. I do appreciate it. The Supreme Court has ruled that the police do not have to serve and protect. Their job is only to enforce the laws. I did not see that, but thank you for that information, JJ. Again, it really does help with the algorithms. So the more interaction that we have, positive or negative, obviously we prefer positive. Excuse me. It really does help with the algorithm. So thank you for shooting that thumbs up for that reason as well. Third reason is I like to see a lot of thumbs up. So just a little game. And so I do appreciate that. So thank you for doing that as well. Also, Ed, you should be a Boy Scout leader. That would be fun. I actually, you know what? I coached Little League for several years, and it was a blast. I had an absolute blast working with the kids. And, yeah, it was a lot of fun. Also, again, if you're not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. So let's get back on topic. Possibility of famine happening here, okay? I want you to think about every day in this country, there are a tremendous amount of people that go without, that don't have enough food in those type of things. It's bad. It is really, really bad. And, the food pantries are absolutely fantastic. They really help with different people. And, it really makes a big, big difference in people's lives. So that is an awesome, awesome thing. Awesome thing. And so, it's, but there are so many people going to sleep hungry all the time and not having enough food. A lot of people out on the streets, a lot of it through no fault of their own. Absolutely through no fault of their own. Circumstances happen, things happen. Now, are there a lot of people on the streets that are drug addicts or alcoholics that live on the street because, of their lifestyle choices? Well, of course there are, okay? But that's not every situation. A lot of people have lost their homes, and then they try to stay in their car, and, if they can't continue to work and do those type of things, it just makes it harder and harder. And unfortunately, things compound. Like, think about when you are trying to get a job, you need to have an address. Well, if you don't have an address, what address do you use? You know what I mean? Where do you send your information to? So those are things that people need to think about. Not everyone has an address, and there's unfortunately, I can remember as a kid, my mom and my stepfather at the time were doing a lot of foster care. So we'd get these kids that would come in, and they would stay for sometimes a couple weeks, sometimes longer, sometimes just a couple of days. But there was situations that were just really, really, really sad, really sad. And these kids, they didn't have good clothes, and their clothes were in tatters, and it breaks your heart. It breaks your heart. And I'm going to tell you what, no kid should have to go through life like that. They should not have to be, without basic necessities. They really shouldn't, and it's very, very sad to see. Oh, I want to do a real quick. I got to say hi to a friend of mine, and I don't know if she's watching or not, but Carly, if you're watching, I just wanted to say hello real quick. Hope you're doing good. She just moved. She just got out of California and moved to Arizona with her family, and really good person, fantastic mom. She's got 4 kids, real good people, real good people. And there was some stuff going on with her family, and she's got a big heart, good person. And I just wanted to give her a quick hello, give her a quick shout out. So there we are. So, okay. But anyway, with our on-time delivery system in this country, that's a very, very fragile system. And if there's any kind of problems moving forward with that, it could be a huge disruption in food distribution. You look at last year, and I don't know if you guys remember or not, there was like so many crops that were just wasted or plowed under because, they were growing these things for the stores, or not the stores, for the restaurants and stuff like that. And with all the restaurants being shut down, there was the demand for that food was not there. So they, instead of donating it or helping with the food pantries or whatnot, they plowed it under or just put it out there to rot. And think about that. I remember there was a picture of this huge mound of potatoes that were just left out there to rot. And very, very sad. It's such a waste. And like I said, to me, as long as there's people starving, we shouldn't have that. We shouldn't have that. I'm going to tell you what, they were talking about, and this is just an example, okay? So the whole thing in Afghanistan, supposedly, we're supposed to be out by May. That was what Trump set up, that we would be out of there completely by May. There's only like 2,500 troops still over there. Now all of a sudden Biden decides we're not going to be out of there until September 11th. That's the date. That's when we're going to be out of there, right? The Taliban has basically said they want us out of there by May 1st. That was the plan. And if we're not, there's going to be, retaliation or whatever. They're making threats. Again, and I love how the media does this. And this is what I always find interesting. So Trump set it up. We're getting out of here. We're going to be out of here by May 1st, and we're going to have all our troops out of Afghanistan, right? 20 years is enough of being in this country. We're going to be out of here. Now, all of a sudden, the news media is saying, oh, Biden has a plan. He's getting all the troops out by 9/11. So it's just, it's the anniversary. Yep, 20-year anniversary. I don't get that. Interesting situation, but now all of a sudden it's Biden's plan to get us out. Oh, sure. Well, God bless him. Oh, how wonderful of him. He just extended it, just so you know. We were supposed to be out by May 1st, and he just extended it. So, but yeah, that's, and you look at the situation. We have almost $1 trillion that we have put in over there in that country for the war effort, for the war machine. So somebody made a tremendous amount of money off that war. And of course, war is good for business. They don't care who dies, but war is good for business. So sad situation, guys. I'm telling you right now, very, very sad. But, war could happen. If war happened here, think about, we are so spoiled in this country because any of the wars that we've had, you look at it since the Civil War. Well, no, you had the War of 1812, but you had 1812, and then you had the Civil War. Civil War was the last one that was actually fought, and we fought amongst ourselves. All right, we really haven't had any kind of thing. World War I, World War II, it was all overseas. It was not affecting things other than the fact that people, were sacrificing, had the victory gardens and did those type of things. But our boys and stuff were all overseas. They were not here, So we have not had to deal with the destruction of war and the aftermath after the war is over of trying to rebuild and stuff like that. We've never had to deal with that. So we are very, very spoiled, and, so I don't know. It just, I think people would be in for, it would be a nightmare because people are not prepared. They're just not, so did 3 tours in Afghanistan at Barham, spent a lot of time building most of that base, JJ just said. Well, thank you for being over there. I'm going to tell you what, anybody that's in the service, they will say the right thing while they're in the service. Yeah, we want to be there to help and blah, blah, blah. But realistically, they don't want to be there, Gates on video describing what we're in the process of doing right now. I'm going to tell you what, here's the thing that I find sketchy with Bill Gates. And I'm just going to put this out there because it's like, it makes you think. Why is he buying up all the farmland? That's what I find very, very interesting. It doesn't make no sense. Why is he buying up all this farmland? And he's like, I think he's the largest owner of private farms, excuse me, in the U.S. right now. So yeah, that's something to think about. Why is that? Okay. All right, real quickly, let's do this. Again, we're at what, 1,054 in the chat, 473 and a thumbs up. I'm going to ask for another thumbs up again. If you have not done so, please shoot a thumbs up to show support for the channel, and thank you ahead of time. So thank you for doing that. Also, again, it really does help with the algorithm. So the more interaction we have, the better it is for the channel. And also, I like to see a lot of thumbs up, not going to lie, being honest. So also, again, if you're not subscribed, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell icon to get all notifications too. So let's do this. Egg count. Let's get the egg count done. And what is everybody's guess today what the eggs are? What did we get today? Not a bad day here today. So I'll give you guys a minute to make your guesses. All right. If you had the same exact guess as Teresa, and Teresa had a guess of 10 eggs, then you are 100% correct. We ended up with 10 eggs today, so real happy about that. Very steady. I ended up going to Tractor Supply. I think I told you guys that today. Got another 2 things of bedding. I put one of them in there for them right now, and so they got that in there. And I wanted to put more in the nesting boxes as well, because it's better for them when they're laying. And so, but yeah, they did good with that. I transferred my Rhode Island Reds today. They went in with the other flock. They're about the same size now, because they got enough size to them. The other ones are a little bit bigger, but not by much. And so I put them out there today. They kept jumping out of the box, and I'm like, okay, you got to go in with the other chickens. So all the babies now, there are, what do we got? 19 babies altogether are on the one side. They got to get a lot bigger before I put them in with the flock. And we got to see how many roosters we got. Yeah, we don't know how many of those 19 are going to be roosters. I know the Rhode Island Reds are all hens, so that's a good thing. That I do know. So, but yeah, they're the birds are doing great, and I ended up getting a new water thing today for them as well. It's it's funny. People will say to me, "Is it worth it to have the chickens?" I really enjoy the chickens. Number one, the eggs are absolutely different tasting from store-bought eggs. It's like night and day. There's absolutely no comparison as far as I'm concerned. And it's you get the reward. You get the eggs, and then basically I can do whatever I want with the eggs. And as you guys know, I give a majority of them away. Mom and Beck get whatever they need. I get whatever I need. And then the best part is, it's like if I decide, if I decided today, let's example, I'm going to have some eggs. I'll just go out there and I'll get the freshest eggs that are just laid, and that's the ones that I'll use. And it's fun. It's fun. And I'm very, very fortunate with that. Very, very fortunate. But what do you guys? I want to hear your feedback on this too. So a lot of people are going to see this after the stream is over with. Obviously, do you think that we have an issue here in the United States, or could we have an issue here in the United States as far as food distribution, famine happening here? There are people, like I said, there's people right now starving in the United States every day. People are going without food. A lot of these programs, guys, that they have for the schools and stuff like that, even when the schools were not actively in session, they were still giving these kids meals. There's a reason for that, okay? These low-income families, they're having a very, very hard time. And, some of us are luckier than others. I'm going to tell you what, growing up, we had squat. I mean, we did a lot of macaroni and cheese. We did a lot of hamburger helper type of meals, meatloaf, all that type of stuff. That's what we did. We dealt with that a lot because we just didn't have it, and I can remember being a kid, and this is, never forget this. I said, when I get old enough, whatever I want as far as food goes, I'm going to buy it. And I'm never, ever going to be in that position where I can't. I didn't want to be in that position where I can't. And I've been very, very fortunate for the most part. I had to ask for help one time in my life, for a short period of time. And I've talked about that before. And that was a very humbling experience. I can tell you that right now. Very, very humbling. But, like with my kids, whenever we would go shopping, kids I want this, I want that, I want the other thing. And I always told my kids this: whenever we would go shopping, you can pick out one thing that you want that's going to be yours, and you can have that. Now, as far as something to drink, that was totally different. I was talking something special that they wanted, always got it. And then, like, for the most part, like they always would get, healthier drinks and stuff like that. I never let them have. I guess I got to tell you this. You get a kick out of this one. I never let them have energy drinks and that kind of crap. I wouldn't do it. It was an absolute waste, in my opinion. Kids got plenty of energy on their own. They don't need that crap, right? So Heather was telling me, God, this was just a little while ago. She told me, she goes, so Dad, when I started college, and I was like on my own, she said, I go down to the store, and she goes, and I bought an energy drink. And I was like, I felt like such a rebel because I knew that was against what you wanted. To me, I mean, it's like, that is awesome. You know what I mean? But, it just, to me, they didn't need it. And I wasn't going to buy them an energy drink. They don't need that crap. So, but yeah, that was very, very funny. But that was her rebellion, buying an energy drink. She was being a bad girl. So too funny. But she's doing really, really good. I can't tell you how proud I am of her. She has worked very, very hard, very, very hard. So Red Bull gives you heart problems. I don't drink energy drinks at all. I don't drink any of them. So, But yeah, and I guess it amps them up, and whatever. That's what they want to do. They can do it. But anyway, we need to think about other people. And I want you guys, I want to touch on this topic for a minute because I think this is really, really, really important. Most of the people obviously watching my streams are generally preppers, off-gridders. You are preparing. You have been preparing. This is what we do. I mean, this is, it's redundant. Yeah, and Heather throws a mean axe. Yes, she does. Green tea is not an energy drink. Green tea is not an energy drink at all. It is just, I like my green tea. So that's not an energy drink at all. That's not what I drink it for. So I want to talk about this really because this is something that I think is really, really important. And I really want you guys to think about this, okay? Because this is something I think about all the time. Post-event, worst case scenario happens. The world has gone to complete dog doo-doo, right? And now we got to try to pick up the pieces and try to survive. Number one, we got to try to survive. There are going to be a tremendous amount of displaced children. Their parents are going to be dead. They're going to be out there. They're going to be like little feral dogs and cats. They're going to need help. They're going to need help because they don't know. Nobody's trained them. Nobody's told them what to do, how to prepare, all those type of things. They have no clue. None. Okay? I really want you guys to think about the fact that we should try to help these kids if we can. And I'm not talking about the 15, 16-year-old kid that's probably going to stab you in the heart while you're sleeping, okay? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about these 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds, those type of young kids, all right, that have just been thrown to the wolves, per se. We need to try to watch out for them because I'm going to tell you what it's going to end up being, all right? A lot of us that are preppers are not young. A lot of us aren't. A lot of us didn't wake up until we were older, okay? At some point, we're not going to be able to do the things that we need to do. Somebody is going to need to be there to replace us, to help, keep things going once we're gone. And that's what these young kids are going to be. they're going to be the ones that are going to be, I'll tell you what, they're going to be the most loyal. They're going to be grateful because you took them in and you took care of them and you taught them right, hopefully, and didn't abuse them. And I know there's all that happens a lot out there. It happens a lot out there, but not, I think most people in general are good, I think, you know, but there's going to be a lot of kids that are going to need help, and they're going to be coming from situations that they've had to deal with a lot of drama or trauma. I'm sorry, a lot of trauma, and you know, take those things into considerations. So, but I want this is just something that really it bothers me. It eats at me, and so you have to be Vietnam use kids those ages lures. You know what they did? They absolutely did. But we're not in Vietnam. We're not facing an enemy. If we have something that goes on here in this country, a lot of those kids, and maybe you hold them up and say, "Wait a minute, stay there. We're going to check and make sure you're okay," and all those type of things. Yeah, obviously be safe, be smart, but there's a lot of kids out there that are going to definitely need help. uh, you know we're not talking about Vietnam. We're this is, we got a lot of people here, and if you and again, and I know I've said this a million times, 95% of the people in this country are not prepared for a 2-week disaster. 95%. So that just gives you an idea of how bad it's going to be in a post event. The cities are going to be an absolute nightmare. And again, I will encourage you always, if you're in the cities, get out of the cities. Get away from those, areas where there is a tremendous amount of people that can be locked in and you're stuck in one area. That's not going to be a good place to be in a post event. It's just not. You may think, well, I'm going to bug in and I'll be fine. Eventually, your supplies are going to run out. And then if you don't have a way to be able to grow crops and do those type of things, it's going to be tough. It's going to be really, really tough. And your chances of survival are not going to be huge, because when you have gangs of people looting, robbing, pillaging, and doing all those things that they're going to do, and they're going to do that, okay, you're going to be in extreme danger. So if you can get out of those situations and get out, there's nothing like I get. This is one of the ones that I get a lot, and I think that I always am amused when I get this one. Well, you're just some dude that lives off in the woods, on a dirt road. What do you know? Why are you hiding? Why are you hiding away? I'm not hiding anything. I have such peace, and I have peace of mind. Um, I know that when something goes down, that I'm in a very, very good position, very good position, because I've been prepping for years. I'm ready for a whole bunch of different events. I have people I know that are going to have my back. Those are those are good feelings. Those are absolutely good feelings. But being away from high population centers definitely is going to be an advantage. Now, again, at some point, are all your extra food and all that extra stuff that you got, is that going to run out? Sure will. But if you have prepared properly, you are prepared to live beyond your food storage. Food storage, what I think a lot of people misinterpret food storage is, what food storage is to get you through that first winter. You get through that first winter, you survive that first winter, and then you start growing. And if you can have things set up ahead of time where you're, like I said, with the fruit trees, the berry bushes and all those different things, raspberry bushes and everything like that, having animals on your site. Now, would you probably have to cull a bunch of those animals? You probably would, because you wouldn't want to try to keep, like right now. All right, so I have 17 full-grown chickens and I have 19 baby chickens. Okay, SHTF happens, I'm going to reduce that number. I can't, you don't want to try to feed all those animals, okay? So obviously you're going to dispatch some of them to eat. That's what you're going to have to do. And being in a situation where you have those type of things, being in a situation where I go, okay, well, guess what? I'm still going to have eggs every day for as long as I have these chickens. That's a good feeling to be in. It's a good place to be, knowing that we can go a long, long time and not have to worry about starving and those type of things. And again, it would be people say, oh, I'm going to go in the woods and I'm going to hunt and I'll survive that way. Going to dry very, very quickly, very quickly. Okay. We are going to be gatherers and growers. That's what the future is going to be in a post event, gatherers and growers. So that's what you need to think about. And learning how to grow, knowing your wild edibles, knowing your wild medicinal plants as well, because there's not going to be doctors anymore. Okay. So, if you have a nurse or you have an EMT or you have a doctor in your group, then count yourself very, very fortunate. Very fortunate. So, but, the things to think about. Who's going to cull the chickens? Mom, Becca, you or Heather? You know what? In that situation, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm a softie, and I'll be the first to admit I'm a softie with my animals. In a post event, it's a whole different ball game. You have to change your mindset. So I would do it in a post event, absolutely, and I would do it with no hesitation because that's what would need to be done. So that's just kind of where I'm at with that. Right now, I don't have to. So that's a beauty of being in the position right now. I don't have to. That's not a necessity at this point in time. So that's why I'm studying to be a herbologist. That's very cool. Autoimmune prepper just said that. There's nothing wrong with that. No, you know what? Knowledge is also power. The more that you learn, the more of an asset you make yourself in a post event, the better off you're going to be. And that's just a fact. Hey, Gigi Skikes. Ed, what is the most humane way to dispatch a chicken? The most humane way, honestly, and the quickest, is just cut their heads off. Not wring their necks, because if you don't wring their neck the right way, it doesn't go well. But you take two nails and you drive them, into a piece of wood or a board or whatever, a log. Drive them in there. You take the chicken, you put their head in there, and you just pet them and you calm them down. You want your chicken calm because you don't want that adrenaline rushing through their body, because that will actually make the meat taste differently. That fear adrenaline running through. So if you get them calm, you pet them, get them calm, and then you just take that axe and just cut that head off. That is the most humane way to do it. Okay, so yeah, guys, if you have a question, all cap locks, please. I disagree with the concept of not taking children. They are the future and need to be educated, and they're the future of someone that never had a chance. Yeah, exactly. You know what? They're the ones that are going to replace us. They're the ones that are going to take care of us when we're older. Those children that you take in and that you help. That's exactly how my grandma killed chickens. There you go. Yarn Prepper just said that. Yeah, keep them calm. They don't need to have that event be stressful. They don't. And you want to make it as calming for yourself as well, to be honest with you. And then the body will run around, and that's what it does. So would you eat a bunny in SHTF? I'd eat a bunny now. Yeah, I would absolutely. I have no problem with that whatsoever. None. I've had squirrel. I have had woodchuck. I have had raccoon. Let's see. I have eaten pheasant, deer, all that type of stuff. Anything like as far as hunting stuff goes, yeah, I've eaten it. So yeah, absolutely, it's food. So let's see what we got here. Found a baby bunny nest in the backyard 2 days ago. Oh, that's cool. You got to leave it alone, though. Don't mess with it, because mom will come back and she'll take care of them. But that's neat when you see that. I've seen that before myself, and it was really, really cool. In a bad situation, you can eat popcorn raw. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Will I add more animals to the homestead? Yes, Lisa, I will. I do plan on having, I do plan on getting goats, and I also plan on getting meat rabbits down the road as well. A couple other things got to be taken care of first, obviously. Adding more animals adds more work, as you guys know. It's funny because it's like I wake up in the morning and first thing I do when I mean literally the first thing I do when I wake up, I take care of my animals first, even before I have a cup of coffee. Once the animals have all been fed, all been watered, the dogs have been put out and done their business, then I have my cup of coffee. So, but so Mom and Beck they'll in the wintertime a lot of times I'll have my tea, but I'll have a cup of coffee with Mom and Beck a lot of times. So. Oh, I've had a bison burger. Yep, I've had one of those too. Yep, I already had one of those, Jane. Yep, I was. Where were we? I think it was when I did the motorcycle tour. We were out someplace and we stopped, and I'm like, yeah, I'll try it. So yeah, I had that there. That was actually really good, very lean. Yes. Also, Ed will tell you get a bunch of wheat berries and a grinder. The thing is, too, wheat berries, guys. Okay, if you buy the wheat still in the shell, it will last 30 years. 30 years. Okay, if you have a grinder, you can grind it down and make your own flour. But you can also take that and plant it and grow more wheat if you need to. And there's all kinds of different kinds of wheat. There's I'd have to look at it, but I have in my preps I think three different kinds of wheat berries. So yep, I think it's a great thing to have. And I actually just picked up another 50-pound bag of wheat berries not that long ago. I got to get that all jarred up. But no, it's a really good thing to have. Very, very smart thing. And again, if you don't eat it, then you can actually grow it and it will germinate. But yeah, you're talking a 30-year shelf life if it is still in the berry like that in that form. So, but yeah, having a grinder is a good thing as well. You're going to have to get creative. That's the whole thing. And so when there's all kinds of recipes, food storage recipes out there, get that information again. So peanut butter and Cool Whip. There you go. It's going to run out eventually, though. So that's what we got to think about. Utilizing your food storage along with what is available at the time. And that's an important thing. In wintertime, unfortunately, depending on what part of the country you're in, growing is not going to be a big thing that's going to be happening. So, yes, the meat prices, Gary Hughes said, as it just me, are the meat prices actually higher this year? Yes, meat prices have gone skyrocketing. It's ridiculous how expensive. Like a pound of hamburger now is like between $4.50 and $5.50 a pound. When it was never that high before. Everything is going up. Everything goes up except your pay. That's what doesn't go up. So, but those are things too, man. It's like if you look at the containers now, flip the container over, and the bottom is concave, right? That makes it look like it's still a lot in there, but there's not as much in there because they've got that concave bottom like that, and now they can, the prices doesn't change, but they're giving you less product, and so that's more expensive. So this is just stuff that goes on constantly. So, Prepper Cookbook is a good source. Yeah, there's so much information out there. There's so many different things that you can use and utilize that are going to make such a big difference, But again, continue to prep. Don't just prep for your family and your friends and yourselves. Prep for those people that haven't thought about it. Help the ones that really need the help, and it's going to be the kids. Because if you take them in and you help them, they can be a very, very valuable part of the team. I'll tell you what. Now, I'll give you a good example. My two great nephews were over here, and you guys saw them on video here over the weekend. And I didn't ask my great nephew to help me do the raised bed. He wanted to. He wanted to learn. He wanted to see how it was done. So I was, explaining everything as we went. And he got tired, and then he stopped when he got tired. But he was there. And those kids, man, they will save you a million steps. You can go get me this, go get me that, go do this, go do that. And obviously using please and thank you as you do it. But how useful do you think whiskey is going to be in the near future? Very, very useful. Addiction is never, ever going to go away, ever.